What's up guys, I'm finally back. I know it's been a really long time since I've uploaded, but I had my exams and I had some things going on in my life, so that's why I couldn't really upload. But now I'm free and I'm gonna focus on my YouTube channel, so hopefully you guys will be enjoying the upcoming uploads. All of the likes and the comments are much appreciated. So as you can see, I'm bringing you this NU battle which I had over 2 months back. So that's why you're seeing a Verizion on my team, but this match is really good and I'm sure you guys will be enjoying it. And as of right now, actually, Mega Camerupt is getting suspect tested in the NU tier, so I'm not sure if it's gonna stay or not. And Verizion is no longer in the NU tier, so I just wanted to say that so that you guys know. But yeah, we both are using our own versions of Mega Camerupt teams. I'm using a more bulky offensive team as he's using a hyper offensive team. So with that being said, let's get into this battle. I'm gonna lead off with my Mesprit as he's gonna lead off with this Hariyama. The reason why I led off with my Mesprit is because it has a pretty good matchup versus his team and nothing on his team can one-hit KO my Mesprit. So he's gonna go for the fake out and I'm gonna expect him to switch out because it's a freaking Mesprit. But he predicts me turn 2, goes for the knockoff, expecting me to go for the stealth rocks and then knocks me out with the bullet punch. So he made a really excellent play turn 2 and now the biggest threat to his team is gone. So I'm gonna go into my Pelipper because this is a physically defensive Pelipper as he's gonna go into his Jinx because he probably expected me to go for something like Scald because Jinx does have dry skin and Pelipper actually gets U-turn, so I can just go for it and keep up the offensive momentum in my favor. And I'm gonna bring in my Hariyama. The U-turn actually did a pretty good amount to this Jinx and I'm just gonna click fake out here as he's gonna switch out and go into Scarbodar. It turns out that he's carrying Rocky Helmet, which means that he's the standard Rocky Helmet spike set. So I can just take this opportunity to Mega Evolve my Camerupt as there's not much this Scarbodar can do to me. But instead of going for something like Gunk Shot, he's gonna choose to go for the Toxic, expecting me to switch out into my Camerupt. And right here he's gonna make a really risky play and go into his Archeops on my Camerupt. I guess he predicted me to go for the Earth Bar because it was really obvious that I was gonna go for the Earth Bar as I expected him to go into his Hariyama. Now if I had gone for the Fire Blast, this Archeops would have taken like 80% and this Archeops is the biggest threat to my team. So I'm not sure if he should have done that or not, but anyways, I'm gonna go into my Rotom as he's gonna go for the Defog and get rid of the Stealth Rocks. And here I'm gonna predict him to go into his Camerupt on my Rotom because he's probably gonna expect me to go for something like Volt Switch, so that's why I just go for the Shadow Ball as he goes into his Camerupt like I expected. And I'm gonna make a safe switch into my Hariyama as he's gonna predict that and make a double switch into his Archeops. And like I said, this Archeops is a big threat to my team and this Rotom is the only check to this Archeops on my team. So I'm gonna go into my Rotom as he's gonna go for the Acrobatics, which is gonna do so much damage. And this time I know he's not gonna go into his Camerupt because if I predict that and go for the Shadow Ball, his Camerupt will get 2-hit KO'd. So knowing that, I'm gonna go for the Volt Switch and I do get that right as he does go into his Lilligant. And I'm gonna go into my Verizion because Verizion has really good special defense. And right here I'm gonna make a double switch into my Mega Camerupt, expecting him to go into Scarbodar as Scarbodar is a really good switch into a Verizion and he does have that Rocky Helmet as well. So this double switch does work in my favor and now my Mega Camerupt is in. I was hoping that I could catch his Archeops on the switch, so that's why I went for the Fire Blast, but this time he actually goes into his Hariyama and his Hariyama is gonna eat up this Fire Blast. Now this turn I'm gonna expect him to go for the knockoff, predicting me to go into my Pelipper, so that's why I'm gonna stay in and go for the Earth Bar just so that I can rack up some damage on this Hariyama. And now I'm gonna save my Mega Camerupt as a dead fodder and I'm gonna go into my Pelipper as he ends up going for the knockoff and gets rid of the leftovers on my Pelipper. I know that he's not gonna risk a potential burn on his Hariyama, so knowing that, I'm gonna go for the U-turn because I know he's gonna switch out and he ends up sacking his Jinx. Jinx wouldn't really have done anything versus my team as I do have priority on my Hariyama and I have a Choice Scarf Rotom and a Verizion which can outspeed the Jinx. So I'm gonna bring in my Rotom as he's gonna go into his Camerupt and he can take this turn to Mega Evolve. And I'm gonna switch out and go into my Pelipper. The reason why I didn't go into my Assault Vest Hariyama on this Camerupt is because I was not sure if he had Will-O-Wisp or not, because if he had Will-O-Wisp he could have easily crippled my Hariyama. So that's why I go into my Pelipper as he sets up his Stealth Rocks. I cannot let these Stealth Rocks stay up on my side, and if I do I'm definitely gonna lose the game as as his team puts a lot of pressure on my team and I have to constantly switch out. So that's why I'm gonna go for the defog, as he is gonna take this turn to switch out into his Lilligant, and Pelipper cannot really do too much to a Lilligant. So that's why I'm gonna go into my Virizion, as he ends up making a really unnecessary play by going for the Quiver Dance when clearly I have a Virizion which has so much special defense and I have a Assault as Hariyama. He goes for the +1 Quiver Dance, which is not gonna do even half, and my Virizion will be able to take out this Lilligant easily with the close combat, since this is a life for Virizion and his Lilligant is gonna go down, and now he's gonna bring in his Archeops so that he can scare out my Virizion. This Virizion is a really valuable Pokemon to my team, so that's why I'm gonna save it and go into my Pelipper, as he ends up going for the Acrobatics, and it is gonna do way too much damage up to the point where if I stay in, the next Acrobatics will be able to take out my Pelipper, and I need my Pelipper for his Hariyama, so that's why I'm gonna switch out and go into my Rotom, as he goes for the Acrobatics, brings my Rotom down to the red health, and now I can just scare him out with the Volt Switch. I knew that he wasn't gonna go into his Mega Camerupt, because if I ended up going for the Shadow Ball, it would have 2-hit KO'd his Mega Camerupt, so that's why I went for the Volt Switch, and now I'm gonna go into my Pelipper once again on this Hariyama, as he ends up going for the Fake Out. I can just take this turn to Roost, except the fact that he's gonna predict me to go for the Roost and he's gonna go for the Close Combat. And for those of you who do not know, when a Pokemon with flying typing goes for the move Roost, it loses its flying typing for that turn, so that's why the Close Combat did so much damage to my Pelipper. But nonetheless, I'm gonna go for the Roost, trying to get my health back, as he's gonna switch into his Archeops, knowing that I'm gonna go for the Roost, and he's gonna go for the Stone Edge, as the almighty Pelipper is gonna live a super effective Stone Edge coming from this Archeops, as I go for the Scald, and unfortunately I do not get the burn, and because of that I'm forced to sack my Mega Camerupt, because I might need my Pelipper later on in the match for his Mega Camerupt. So that's why I'm gonna sack my Mega Camerupt, as he's gonna go for the Acrobatics, and I'm gonna bring in my Choice Scarf Rotom once again to scare out his Archeops, as he has no other choice but to sack his Hariyama, as if I end up going for the Shadow Ball and he switches into his Mega Camerupt, that thing will get 2-hit KO'd, so his safest play was to sack his Hariyama, and I go for the Volt Switch, and I'm gonna take this turn to go into my Hariyama, as he's gonna go into his Archeops, I guess just to bait out the Fake Out so that he can get some Rocky Helmet damage on my Hariyama with his Garbodor. But even if he had gone into his Garbodor, I still would have gone for the Fake Out, and I have no other choice but to stay in on this Garbodor, as he's gonna go for the Gunk Shot, which is gonna do so much damage, as I go for the Knockoff, and the Rocky Helmet damage is gonna end up taking out my Hariyama. But this Garbodor is at a point where my Choice Scarf Rotom can just come in and go for the Shadow Ball and take him out. He has no switch-ins left to this Rotom, and his Garbodor is gonna go down. He's gonna bring in his Mega Camerupt, and I cannot take out this Mega Camerupt from the amount of HP he's at with a Shadow Ball, so that's why I'm gonna switch out and go into my Pelipper and sack it, because I do need to get a free switch into my Virizion, as he ends up going for the Fire Blast, and my Pelipper is gonna go down, as now I can just bring in my Virizion for free and go for the Close Combat. He has no other option but to stay in, as if he switches out, his Archeops will die, and he does not end up switching out, and the Close Combat is able to take out this Mega Camerupt, and the only Pokemon left on his team at this point is this Archeops, which is at red health. He can just go into it and go for the Acrobatics to take out my Virizion, but I still do have my Choice Scarf Rotom in the back, which can outspeed this Archeops and take him out, and the only reason why I won this game is because I got rid of these Stealth Rocks as soon as he got them up, and this is the reason why you should have a Rapid Spinner or a Defogger always on your team, because if I hadn't gone for the Defog, then my Rotom would have died to the Stealth Rocks and I couldn't have won this game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. This was a pretty intense game. If you enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and have a good day.